Hi everyone, Jai Hind and welcome to the platform of StudyIQ IAS in English. My name is Bhavar Singh Surya, MX 115th course and qualified civil services in 2012. And I welcome you onto the platform. Now in this session, we'll be talking about the education system where we have more than 1 crore teachers now as per the latest data that had been released. And ultimately the teachers, they have grown above the 1 crore of the benchmark you can say, and that is for the first time that we have seen in India. So when it comes to the complete teacher workforce, so now we have 1.03 crore of the teachers and they have crossed for the first time 1 crore benchmark as per the UDISE plus report that was released for 2025-26. So this connects to your education, that is under your GS paper 2, and even human resource development and the teacher governance as well. Now as per the latest figure that had been released, we have 24.72 crore of the students which had been enrolled across the system, and there are 14.67 lakh of the schools where we are actually the one of the world's largest system when it comes to the education sector. Also, when it comes to the secondary level pupil and teacher ratio, it is 21:1, which is actually better than the NAP's norm, that is 30:1. But at the same time, why I am discussing this and why this is quite a problem that we see or we face in the education sector. Now, at the same time, if you'll see that Ministry of Education had released the PGI or the Performance Grading Index 2.0 report for the states and the union territories, and even the new district level PGI-D for the 2025-26, alongside the recent report that we had for the UDISE plus 2025-26. Now this confirms that ultimately the teacher count that we have in India, it has crossed the 1 crore benchmark for the first time. Yet when it comes to the PGI or Performance Grading Index report, so it has found that not a single state or union territory had reached the top 3 performance grades, exposing that basically there is a wide gap or widening gap that is there between the teacher quantity and the teacher quality as well. Now this is quite important, we'll be discussing this in detail, but ultimately this raises a very severe question that is for the education crisis, and that is that can a nation, it can teach its way out of a learning crisis simply by hiring more teachers, or does the crisis lie in where those teachers they stand and not how many they are actually? Now when it comes to the complete perspective, this is a big question that the complete news article it raises, and thereby this is quite important for us because ultimately you will be the future administrators, and thereby this crisis will be present in front of you as well as being an administrator. So we'll be discussing this in detail, but let me tell you that we are offering you right now with 50% off on all the UPSC courses which are available on the platform of StudyIQ. For enrolling into the UPSC courses, you can use the code BRS Live that will fetch you the 50% off on the platform. Now this is quite important because when it comes to the education sector reforms, so this is right from the Kothari Commission. Now in 1966, Kothari Commission was, constituted, and this was the first systemic call to professionalize the teaching and link teacher status to the national development as well. In 1986 and there again in 1992, we had the National Policy on Education, which actually framed the teachers training and the District Institute of the Education Training, or DITES as we call them. In 1993, there was the NCTE Act that was passed, which is basically the statutory regulator for the teacher education standards that was created. In 2002 and then in 2009. In 2002, we have the Article 21A that was added to the Constitution of India, and also in 2009, we had the Right to Education Act that was passed, basically formalizing the Article 21A into the actual, promises. So we had the free and compulsory education, which was provided as the fundamental right, and there are PTR norms or the teachers and the pupil ratio norms, that is 30:1, that were primarily codified for the primary classes. Now in 2018-19, there is the UDISE plus which was launched, which is basically the real-time digital census which has replaced the annual paper-based DISE data. In 2020, we had the NEP 2020 that was formulated, which have set the 30:1 pupil to teacher ratio ceiling nationally and flagged it as an estimated 1 million teacher shortfall in the country. Now in 2025-26, we are seeing that there had been more than 1 crore of the teacher as per the PGI-D, and the teacher count across is 1.03 crore rupees, and district level grading had been launched in 2026 itself. So each phase have treated the teachers as the state's chosen infrastructure or instrument for closing the learning gap. But at the same time, over here it is quite important that it was earlier through the professional standards, and now it is through the legal entitlement that we are talking about the teachers and the complete education sector. And also now we are moving towards the data driven approach in the complete analysis. Now this is quite important because this is about 2 reports in just 1 week. We have UDISE plus which have it says that teachers have risen from 94.83 lakh to 1 crore 1.02 or nearly about 1.03 crore of the teachers, and that is basically an 8.3% of the increase. When it comes to the PTR norms, they have improved at every stage, and there are the PTR or the pupil teacher ratio that is at 10 at the foundational, 12 at the preparatory, and 17 at the middle, and 21 that is at the secondary stage. So all the levels, they are below what had been suggested by the NEP or the National Education Policy of 2020. The dropout has also fell, where we have the preparatory where the dropout was earlier 2.3%. It has fallen to 1.8%. We had it secondary, it was 8.2%, which has fallen at 7.0%. And the girls enrollment share, that has edged up to 48.4% as per the UDISE plus report. And there is PGI 2.0 and also PGI-D report that has been released. Now PGI-D is actually new. This is actually where we will be talking about the district level grading on the 600 points or the 70 indicators across total of the 11 domains. Now this has been sourced from the UDISE plus, PARAKH, Rashtriya Sarvekshan 2024 and the Prabandh portal as well. Now there is no state over here, which is quite important, that which have reached the top 3 grades, that is between 71 to 100%. Chandigarh alone have touched the Uttam 3 of the grading, and Delhi, Kerala, Punjab and even the Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, they sit in the middle tier, that is Pracheshta 1 band, which lies for 51 to 60%. So again, this is quite important, where we are talking about quality versus quantity. Now when it comes to the complete education regime, so how the complete education sector is basically governed, or who governs the teacher workforce. So we have the Ministry of Education, that is we have the Department of School Education and Literacy. Then we have NCT. NCT basically regulates the teacher education standards and the institutions. Then we have NCRTs and the state level institutions as well, which actually decides about the curriculum, the PARAKH surveys and the pedagogy research as well. Then we have DIETs, which are basically district level pre-service and in-service for the teacher training. Then we have Samagra Shiksha. This is basically an umbrella scheme that funds the recruitment, salaries and the Nishtha training for the teachers. And then we have the state education departments, which is where we have the actual recruitment that happens, posting and the rationalization of the teachers as well. And then we are talking about the UDISE plus and the PGI cell, which is basically the data backbone, which feeds into the grading, planning and the fund releases as well. So this is the complete infrastructure or the complete governance model that you can see. Now when it comes to India, you can compare their numbers along with the world as well. When it comes to India, the secondary, the pupil to teacher ratio is 21:1, where the OECD average is nearly about 13:1, and in Finland, it is also nearly about 13:1. Now, minimum teacher training that is required in India is 2-year B.Ed or DL.Ed that is required. But in OECD, it is about the bachelor's degree along with the pedagogy certificate, and very important that in Finland, it is that the teachers there should be master's degree, that is mandatory. Now, the central regulator for India is the NCT, but for the OECD, it varies by the country. There is university embedded high autonomy in the Finland that you can see. Now, when it comes to teacher social status, it is rising in India, and again, it is uneven. But at the same time, when it comes to the OECD average, there is moderate to high. And here you can see that in Finland, the teachers are considered very high when it comes to the social status, because they're the teachers, they are selective. There is the selective entry. You cannot enter into the teacher workforce. But in India, very sadly, I will say this, that the teaching, it becomes the profession only if you have failed in the other dimensions or in other sectors. So in India, the teaching profession is not given that kind of, you can say that kind of, status. and that is why we lag into the education sector that you can see. Over here, it is also very important that what should be done in the next phases. What should be the next reforms that where we should handle the education reform system. So first one is about the school consolidation, where we should rationalize tiny subscale schools into the clusters to fix the deployment without inflating the wage bill. The second thing is that there should be AI assisted classroom, where there should be adaptive learning tools and the Diksha content to narrow the gaps in multi-grade and the single teacher schools as well. There should be PGI-D feedback loops, where the district level grading feeding, it should be directly into the fund release and the targeted teacher postings as well. And also, there must be the entry standard reform, where long-term push is towards the Finland style selectivity in the teacher education, building on the NCT oversight that is required to be done in India. So that would be all, but at the same time, it is about the 1 crore teachers, but one unfinished question about the India's education system, that quality is the milestone, but at the same time quantity is the milestone that we are talking about, where it is about 1 crore teachers, but deployment and quality, they are basically the exam of the complete education system or the sector that we have. So that would be all in today's session. I hope that now this is clear that why this topic is important for your preparation for the UPSC. But at the same time, it is required that you build the complete foundation for your UPSC examination. Now we have the resolution P2I badge, that is basically the foundation badge for your GS preparation on the platform of StudyIQ. Also, we have the other programs as well. Like for example, I take the public administration class also, and ultimately we are giving you 50% off on all the UPSC courses which are here. You can use the code that is BRS Live and you can enroll into the courses. If you find any problem, if there is any problem, then you can call us on 764-000 and 3000 number as well. So that would be all in this session. I hope that this is clear to everyone of you. Do not forget to leave the like for the video, as well as share this video with your friends who are preparing for the civil services, and also subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss any of the updates. I will see you in the next, but till then, please take care of yourself. Bye-bye and Jai Hind.